I know it's early in the week, but how's the preparations going for what's going to be a massive Saturday afternoon?
Look, it is. Yeah, it was Saturday night. I think the boys will sort of naturally talk about the upcoming game, and it is early in the week. But I think also we need to be careful, not to certainly not to internally build it up too much, because enough of that will be done already. Enough of that's being done from an external point of view, but. There is still a fair way to go. It's clearly it's a big game against the benchmark team of the last few years, but it is also round 18, and we need to see it as an opportunity to keep improving before September, which is only just 4 weeks away. So.
Yeah.
Any chance you get to measure yourself against the best is a good one, no doubt. But we've got to be careful, especially this early in the week, not to build it up too much.
Yeah.
It is just, as I said, about going about it how we have been and trying to improve every week.
You couldn't be going in much better form. I mean, the last sort of 6 weeks. I mean, you've been absolutely flying. I mean, do you? Do you put that down to just that? It's obviously good form, but it's good sort of structures coming together and those type of things as well.
Yeah, look, we have been in good form. That's for sure. But I think you can put it down to a few things. I think first and foremost, a pretty healthy list at the moment, which is important. There's a lot of pressure off the spots. There's some really good players playing good footy in the VFL. So every guy who represents the club in the AFL knows that he has to be right on the job every week and play his role for the team, because there's no one safe. Everyone's spots being hotly contested. So that's a good thing. And I think also when you do have a fit, healthy list, you get continuity of blokes playing together, and as I said, learning how to play their roles and doing that consistently. So that's what's been happening lately. Having said that, we still feel we've got some upside as well. We still feel we've got to keep improving, and fine tuning things for the upcoming final series. So, as an example, we certainly were happy with our last quarter last week. That's in a way it's not a bad thing, because it sort of left us a little bit disappointed, and left us thinking that we've still got a bit to work on next week. So there's always things you can do to improve, and as I said, the challenges don't get easier by the week as you get to this time of the year.
Yeah, well, I mean, you've been in the system a while now, Luke, and obviously at different clubs as well. I mean, what do you put sort of Collingwood's sort of unbelievable fitness record this year? Really, I mean, you've had the odd injury, but no sort of real patches of injuries together. I mean, what do you what have you seen this year with your fitness staff and preparations and things that you think have managed to get all your top guys sort of fit and kept them fit for most of the season?
Careful not to put the moz on us here, but certainly, look, I think it's a combination of things. No doubt, it's good management. The head of the fitness department, Dave Butterfin, is very experienced and has been at the club for several years now. And certainly, is very good at his job. So there's absolutely no doubt that it's about good management. And it's a pretty tough job, that one too, because there are 40 plus players on their list, and each one of them is different with different needs. But he's got a very good feel of each player and what they respond to, and who might need to freshen up and a rest during the week, and who might need to step up their training as an example. So there's no doubt that him and his team are a large part of, a large reason for that. And no doubt you had a bit of luck as well along the way. Sometimes with the game we play now, that sometimes those contact impact injuries are just unavoidable.
Luke, a lot's been made this year about the interchanges that Collingwood have used and used so well, and also the possibility of capping them at the end of the year or the beginning of next year. Do you think the use of the interchanges helped you stay fitter this year and by extension the rest of the team? And what's your thoughts on a possible interchange cap next year?
No doubt about it. Yeah, I think it's really a skill these days how to manage your 22 players who play on the weekend, and that's something that as a club and as a coaching staff, Collingwood, we've been able to do pretty well this year. I'd be sort of opposed to a cap on interchange. I guess understand the reasons why people might be calling for it, but I don't think they're strong enough. I really don't. I mean, when you're out there playing, I really don't think you notice it. And I watch games on the weekend as well. And apart from the odd, crazy interchange mishap that results in a penalty, they're pretty few and far between. You just don't really notice it, I feel. So. I think footy at the moment is in pretty good shape, and is every weekend there's certainly a handful of exciting games and good footy played. So I don't think it's. I understand I'm looking into it, but I don't think it's an issue that needs changing. I guess
tinkering, yeah. And personally, look, I mean, obviously there was a lot made of your last game for St Kilda last year. I'm sure you've sort of moved on, but I mean, how do you feel your form has been sort of generally and sort of going into September? How do you feel sort of personally in your body and in your mind?
Yeah, well, certainly my body's pretty good at the moment, which definitely helps this time of year. And I feel like I've just sort of built pretty well, over the course of the year. Maybe started off, a bit slow, and as I sort of have been building week by week, and sort of building strength and maintaining your body is the most important part of that. But certainly takes a little while to adapt to your new team and teammates and coaches as well. But I feel like I've sort of built into the stage where I'm comfortable with my role in the team and have been able to sort of play that role pretty well over the last little period. So I still think I've got a fair bit of improvement left as well, but I've sort of been slowly building.
Yeah, I mean, you've played with some great players along the journey, but Dane Swan's last sort of 6 to 8 weeks, I mean, the stats are just the stats, and the super coach is the super coach. But what I mean, as a player, as a fellow player, I mean, regardless of all those things, what's he truly like to play alongside, and his preparation and things? I mean, is he one of the best that you've seen in terms of the way he can keep going and keep finding the ball and keep doing those things for at a high level for so long in a game?
Absolutely, yeah. Dave's been outstanding. I think the best part of it has been his consistency, not only this year but over the last couple of years. He's certainly at the point, I guess what is he, 26, so he's really running into his absolute prime, and possibly only now starting to get the due recognition. I think up until this year he's probably been underrated in a sense, not ranked high up with the really elite midfielders that get spoken about. But I think this year he certainly sits very comfortably alongside them, and I think the good thing about it too is that, you know, with all this talk about him, he's certainly still very, very level-headed and takes it all in his stride and takes all the attention that he gets on the weekend. You know, he certainly gets tagged almost every week and pays attention. He takes it all in his stride and just goes about his business and just loves playing footy and loves getting the footy. And I think, as I said, he's starting to get some due recognition, but he's also you know, a really good leader as well. And I'm sure that he's not too concerned with all these individual accolades. He's got his eyes on one thing as well. So you're certainly one of the best players that I've played with.
And no thought of getting some ink yourself, sort of a big sleeve, or will you just leave that to him?
I don't think it would suit me much. I think I'll leave that to Swanee and his little protege. I think if I did that now, I'd just be seen as a copycat. So I don't. I'll be going for that. Plus, it probably looks like it hurts a bit too much. So.
Yeah, I think it probably would. All right, Luke, I'll leave it to it. But once again, thanks very much for your time, mate, and best of luck for Saturday and the rest of the year.
Yeah, good on you. Thanks, Tim.
Cheers, mate.